Hi there, these comments are for MK. I'm just using your initials for privacy purposes, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the TOEFL online course, the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. And you made a comment over at the TOEFL IBT study guide webpage, and I want to respond to your specific situation right now. And by the way, I feel your pain. I understand that you're having some difficulties with the TOEFL, and let's see if we can get you on the road to helping you make the improvements you need to help reach the goal that you seek. So first of all, you need 21 points on the reading. Actually, I'm looking at it wrong here. You need 22 points in the reading, you need 18 points in the listening, you need 26 points on the speaking, and then 24 points on the writing. So I'm guessing that you're probably a healthcare professional, maybe a pharmacist, maybe you want to be a doctor, maybe a nurse here in the United States, so you need to have some very, very strong academic English proficiency, especially in the speaking and the writing areas, right? Now your current score, you had 21 points on the reading, so you're almost there with the reading. You have 27 points on the listening, so you're beyond the requirement that you need for that particular subtotal. You're 23 points on the speaking, so you're 3 points shy of your goal there, and you had 21 points on the writing, which means that you were 3 points shy on that area as well. Alright, so let's take a look at more of what you said. You said, mostly I'm having a hard time with the speaking because I don't know the requirements. I think you want to say here, I might need some guidance with reading and writing as well. I am working hard to accomplish my goal. Can you please give me a time frame? I need your professional help. Yeah, this is a good question. It's hard to give you an exact time frame because I don't know exactly what your particular weaknesses are. I mean, I know what they are on the TOEFL exam, but the question is, how long will it take for you to solve those problems? Alright, let's take a look at what it means. So you have 23 points in the speaking, right? So you said you're not sure of the requirements, and maybe I can help answer that question as I take a look at what your score is right now. So on the independent speaking tasks, obviously one of the most important things that you want to do is to directly answer the question that you're being asked. If you don't do that, you're not going to score as high as you would like. So right now you're scoring right around 3.0 out of 4, or 23 points out of 30. So let's just take a look at what it means in terms of delivery, language use, and topic development. Now we'll just kind of look at it here to see what it means. So first of all, in terms of your pronunciation, you have minor difficulties with pronunciation, with your intonation, or maybe your pacing. These problems are noticeable and require listener effort at times. Overall, the IBT human raters can understand what you're saying, but you still have these problems. So what it means for you is, as a requirement, it means that you need to speak more clearly. You need to overcome some of these pronunciation problems you're having if you want to score higher. Now, in terms of language use, it means that you have sometimes imprecise or incorrect use of vocabulary or grammar structures, or you're limited in the range of structures used, and that you have a tendency to use what's called basic grammar. Some of these problems affect your overall fluency, but these problems don't affect the communication of your ideas. So what it means here is you more than likely need to work on your grammar a little bit more. You are making some errors or using some words incorrectly, and that's also causing your score to be lower than 26 points out of 30. So the requirement here is that you try to use better vocabulary and better grammar. Now with topic development, it means here you are a little bit limited in that you need to more fully explain your ideas and use more specific details to support some of your generalizations. Sometimes a relationship among your ideas are not immediately clear. So I think what this means as a requirement for speaking is you want to make sure that you completely answer the questions you're being asked and you use appropriate details to help support what you're saying. Now in the case of the independent speaking task, you have to use more detail to help illustrate the argument you're trying to make. In the case of the integrated speaking tasks, you need to paraphrase or summarize, make sure you completely and accurately answer the questions that you're being asked. So from what I can tell, based on your score, you need improvements with pronunciation, you need improvements with your vocabulary and your grammar, and you also need some improvements in terms of your organization and your development of ideas. That's what it means. These are the requirements that you're trying to aim for. Alright, now let's take a look at writing for just a minute and kind of see what it means with writing. So your writing in one case was 24 points out of 30, which was strong. In another case it was 21 points out of 30. So let's take a look at the independent writing task for just a minute, see if we can get a general idea of what your score means. So if you score around 21 points out of 30 on this, what this means to you is you have an accurate but limited range of sentence structure and vocabulary. So we see a pattern here. We see some limitations with your speaking and your writing in the exact same area in vocabulary and grammar. So like I said a minute ago as I was talking about your speaking, you have to improve your grammar and also your vocabulary. Now you also, according to your score, you have some problems with sentence formation and word choice that makes your ideas and meaning unclear. So again, you have to improve some of the errors that you're making, and specifically with sentence formation means you're sometimes maybe combining two sentences together with a comma. That's called a comma splice. You can Google that. How about this? Google the term how to repair comma splices in writing. And according to your score, you're probably having some problems with that. Also, you're having some word choice issues. The next thing, it says sometimes it's difficult to understand the connection of your ideas. Organization again, which means that you still need to work on how you're organizing your ideas. So we see patterns between the speaking and the writing areas of your test scores. The other one here, you're using somewhat developed explanations, examples, and details, which means you can probably develop your ideas a little bit better than what you are. So these are some improvements that you have to try to work for. Now let's take a look at the integrated writing task for just a minute and see if you might be missing, depending on what your score was, you could have some problems in this area as well. So according to the rubrics here, if you scored lower in the integrated writing area, your response omitted at least one major key point in the lecture, or your response conveys an incomplete, inaccurate, or imprecise connection of the ideas in the lecture to the ideas in the reading passage, so you didn't quite make those connections. So these are some of the issues that you're dealing with right now. Now going back to your question is a time frame. I can give you a time frame here. And remember, this is just an approximation here. I cannot guarantee anything. I can't say exactly how long it's going to take you to reach your goals. I'll be honest with you, it's going to be a battle. You said you're struggling. A lot of students struggle. You can reach your goal, but it's going to take some work. So I got 3 recommendations for you. The third recommendation will focus around the time frame. that you need right now, and the first two recommendations are additional things that I think you can do to help you improve your overall academic English language proficiency. Number one, get in the habit, or stay in the habit if you're already doing it. Keep reading. You want to practice reading about 45 to 60 minutes a day. You can focus on newspapers, magazines, and longer books. Now, this has nothing to do with my online course. This has nothing to do with TOEFL books. This is just what's called extensive reading. So keep reading. Number two, stay in the habit. You already have great listening skills, but practice maybe about 45 minutes a day with listening materials. Now, if you have TV, like English TV, you can focus on news programs, especially science programs. You can focus on documentaries and maybe even history type programs. This has a tendency to give you a little bit higher level type vocabulary and grammar and all those things that you need right now. You have language use issues, as I pointed out, with your speaking and writing, and having contact with reading and listening on a regular basis, it will be good to helping you deal with these language issues that you're suffering from right now. Now, as you practice the reading and the listening, I want you to get in the habit of note-taking. Note-taking is very, very important for the writing and the speaking sections of the exam, but it's also important in the reading and the listening areas as well. So as you're doing that reading and listening practice, focus on taking down the main points and the most important supporting points of those reading and listening passages. Now, at first it will be difficult for you. You will not be able to take notes effectively, but as you practice and as you keep going through my lessons in my online TOEFL course, you'll get some tips on how to be a better note taker. You'll be able to apply those things to the reading and the listening practice that you're doing, and you will get better. You got to believe it, but you will. Now, using your notes, do two things. You can either write a written summary of the reading and listening passages, or you can orally summarize those reading and listening passages. And you guessed it, you're using your notes to write, you're using your notes to speak. This is helping you with the integrated writing and integrated speaking proficiencies that you're trying to work on right now. So that's going to indirectly help you for the TOEFL. Now, number three refers to the time frame that you're asking me. This is my best guess right now, but I'm going to put you on a 90-day time frame. So what you can do is, you're already at my course here. You can click on the 90-day TOEFL study guide, and you can start going through the lessons in that particular study guide. Now, that study guide is important because it's going to help you improve your vocabulary and your grammar, and the 90-day TOEFL study guide will focus a lot on vocabulary, which seems to be something that you need to work on based on my analysis of your speaking and your writing scores. So as you go through that study guide, that's going to help you improve your language use. You'll get better in terms of how you develop and organize your ideas, and you will be able to make improvements overall. Alright, MK, so those are my suggestions right now, and maybe what you could do, if you like, maybe after 60 days or maybe after 30 days or 45 days, if you're feeling like you're a little bit impatient and you want to get a benchmark of how you're doing, I do offer a full-length IBT practice test at my website. I have contracted out with a company that has accurate, realistic, full-length IBT practice tests. You can take one of those practice tests so that you can get an idea of how you're doing, and you can mark your progress, especially in the writing and the speaking areas, right, which is what you want to improve on. So when you do that full-length IBT practice test, and you will find those in the 8th section of my course. That's where you will find those full-length IBT practice tests, and I think that would be a good idea for you. So maybe after 30 or 45 days, you can take one of those practice tests. All right, MK. Anyway, thank you for your comments on my website, and in the video that I've just shared with you, I went over 3 basic strategies to help you improve your academic English language proficiency. And I gave you a time frame of around 90 days. Now remember, this is going to be tough. It's going to be a lot of practice. Remember, I've already suggested here about 45 minutes of reading practice, 45 minutes of listening practice every day, and then using my online course on a daily basis. If you spend about 2 hours there, that's going to give you about 3.5 hours of daily practice every day over the next 90 days. Now, of course, that doesn't take up your whole day. If you have more time, just talk with native speakers, just have more contact with the language as much as you can. That's going to be very important for you. And one more thing before I close the video. If you don't have English TV or TV programs in English or whatever, there are some great internet websites that you can also use to help practice your listening comprehension. Now, you might want to write these down. Number 1 is National Public Radio. It's npr.org. That's a good website for your academic listening. Now, a second one, it's called TED Talks. You can Google both of those and find the links to those websites, but that's going to also give you some great listening practice.